10 seconds.
Welcome to Comic Book Spectrum, a Rising Tide Broadcast Network production. Get ready to explore the world of comics, past, present, and future, with our panelists Eric Hawkins, Brian Rodman, and Clyde Hall. And now here's your host, Brian K. Morris.
And good evening, everyone. How the heck are you? Welcome to issue 20 of Comic Book Spectrum for July 8th, 2021. Glad you're here. Hope you're ready for a great hour-ish of reviews and talking about funny books. Anyway, we want to thank you for being here. Thank you very much. You could be anywhere, and whether you're watching us live or on the rerun, we do appreciate you all. And also, please don't forget, if you enjoy any part of this, if you're watching on Facebook, please give us this video a like, and also give a like to the page you're watching on to thank our host for it. And if you're watching us on YouTube, which we'd really love you to do, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We've got all kinds of cool stuff coming your way, and we want you to be a part of it. So anyway, we also want to thank our Patreon subscribers. Patreon is a monthly subscription service where you can directly support your favorite creators, and many of the people on this list have their own Patreon, so please check them out. But in exchange for what you offer us, we give you some perks I think you'll dig, like mentioning your name on the show here. You can find out what we're offering at www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. And we are a proud part of the Rising Tide Broadcasting Network. We've got your information and entertainment covered 7 days a week. And it's a countdown now, 6 days before the premiere of our brand new show, The Truthmongers, with Ted Davies and Glenn B. Fleming. If you're into conspiracy theories and such, this is the show for you. It's going to be a good time, and we think you'll dig it. So please check it out. Check out all the shows on here. Please like their Facebook pages, and please like their YouTubes as well. And as always, this episode is brought to you by Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. Did you see those terrific covers on there? Those were all done by Jeffrey Hayes of Plasma Fire Graphics. In fact, he did my brand new book, Snow Ambition, number 4 in the Snow Shorts series. It's a standalone, quick read crime thriller. You will dig it. Ambition can be a killer. Anyway, check it out. It's available now for 99 cents on Amazon. But Jeffrey Hayes did that cover, and he can do wraparound book covers, comic book covers, promotional graphics, including trailers like you just saw. So check it out. Check out his Facebook page and check out plasmafiregraphics.com when the look of your book matters to you. Also want to put in a real quick plug here. I am going to be one of the spotlighted guests at the Imaginarium this weekend in Louisville, Kentucky. That's going to be at the Holiday Inn Louisville East at 1325 South Hurstbourne Parkway in Louisville, Kentucky. Whole bunch of writers, artists, screenwriters, cosplayers, all kinds of creativity is going to be on spotlight there. If you want more information, go to entertheimaginarium.com. And one of the following people are going to be there as I unmute them and get them ready for their grand reappearance on the show. It is my pleasure and honor, as always, to bring to you, going clockwise, Clyde Hall, Eric S. Hawkins, and Brian Rodman. Good to have you here, gentlemen. How are you tonight?
Peachy.
Doing well, sir. How are you? How's your fez?
My fez is supple.
Yes, always perky. Wonderful.
It is. It is. And people had come see us at the Imaginarium, and I do say us because Mr. Rodman will be making his first convention appearance this week.
In over a year.
I was like, first ever?
No, not first ever. I'm a bit of a veteran when it comes to that, but yeah, it's been a bit. So this will be the first time I've ever been at Imaginarium, though. So I'm looking forward to
in your hometown as well, right?
In my hometown.
Yeah,
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Yeah.
You will
Be a lot of fun.
come to my streets. I will show you my hood. It'll be great.
Get down with Mr. R. You know?
That's right. I too am a children. How are you?
There you
Hello,
go.
kids.
Hi, homies. What's a homie? I can see
The
it
person
now.
that just stays at home, right? I think that's
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, homies. Those are little houses that you water them and they grow into big mansions. Yeah, you betcha. So anyway, we've got a bunch of comics we're going to review tonight, and as always, we welcome your comments, whether you're watching us on YouTube or on Facebook or on Twitch. And let's acknowledge some people right now. Brian Hawkins, Greens Programs. Glad to have you here, Brian. And in Ahmed's voice, good evening, infidels. Thank you, Joe Dog McKeel. Check out Joe Dog McKeel on Stupid O'Clock later tonight on Thursday, every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. And also on Saturday nights at 11 p.m. Also stay tuned following that show for Dan Hollifield in Last Man Standing. And speaking of Ted Davies artistry, there he is. Good evening, all on vacation, but had to watch the Fab Four. Glad you're here, Ted. Looking forward to your new show. And here we go. From the desk of the small press publisher, Joe D. McPhee, 10 p.m. every Saturday night. Great interviews and art on that show. It's time for King of the Panel. I tell you what. Yup. And hopefully they aren't still in the alley drinking Alamo beer. It could happen.
I don't know what's in my coffee cup.
There we go.
But it's not just coffee.
Yes, and a Tyler Hawkins says that someone on the panel is turned 50 tomorrow. Love you, honey. That's my wife.
Hi, Cookie.
Rodman?
I'm a lot older than you think, guys.
You're 22?
Yeah, can't you see?
Yeah,
It's
he
all
is
in
correct.
the beard.
I will be 50 tomorrow.
Old.
Congratulations.
All of you are old. All of you.
I admit it. But no, happy birthday to you, Eric.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It's quite an accomplishment to reach half a century.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I looked at when I turned 50 about 400 years ago. It's like I'm half a century old. That's kind of cool, It's and mentally, of course, I'm about 10, so that helped a lot. But got any big plans for your birthday, Eric?
I don't know.
Happy 50. All right, there we go.
Happy 50, Eric. Sincerely, man.
Eric,
Sincerely.
If it makes you feel better, somebody asked me about the ages of our panel. And
Oh, really?
I told him that I thought you were like in your early 40s. This was a couple of weeks ago.
Well, thank you. Well, that's because I do color my beard.
Yeah.
There you go.
It is white. I mean, it is solid white if I don't color it. Yeah. It's been that way since my 30s, though. So.
Right.
Yeah, I started going silver very early, too. I was in a production of Beauty and the Beast about 10 years ago or so. And I, of course, was Crazy Maurice. Who else would I be?
I
thought you were Belle.
I introduced myself. Hi, I'm Brian, and I'll be Belle this week. So anyway, or only on weekends and on the pole. But no, I had to grow a mustache, and that's where I started growing the sideburns. But I grew a mustache, and I told everyone that it kind of pissed me off that the mustache came in the correct color.
Oh.
Yeah. No, but it's all good. It's all good. As President Reagan said upon achieving the age of 74, it beats the alternative. So anyway, happy birthday to our own Eric Hawkins, and may there be many more 50-year-old anniversaries there. So, and Jen Thompson, our darling Jen Thompson of the Indie Author Book Expo, which is happening this weekend in West Des Moines, putting a plug. So Eric, when are you coming to one of my book expos?
I don't know. I'll have to try to schedule one. I don't do a lot of shows during the year. Well, last year was supposed to be doing more shows than ever, but then everything just. So next week. Is it next week? Will be
next weekend
show?
we will be at the Heroes for Kids Con in Perryville, Missouri.
Yeah, so next week will be my third show of the year, and I might try to schedule one more. But I've already. It depends on what process I'm at in working on my new book. I've already started issue 4, got issue 3 in today.
Yeah.
Let's give him the full screen on that.
Full screen action. Look
Ooh,
at
yeah.
ooh,
Yes.
that's lovely.
So yeah, I'm surrounded by a wall of boxes of comics over here. So yeah, it depends where I'm at in the stage of the new issue and how much time I'll spend traveling to go to a show. So
Yeah,
I'll check to see where we're at. I mean, right now I've already got like 8. I think it's 8 pages penciled for the new issue.
that's great.
Nice.
Nice.
Do you work
Super.
do you work on the book when you're at the shows? Or do you just focus on
No,
film?
typically
Okay.
not. Since I do digitally all the time, and I don't have like a portable. It's on my
Oh,
desktop
gotcha.
here. Now
Gotcha.
I have occasionally. I'll do some writing sometimes, but that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
cool.
But no one wants to see me sitting at a table writing. So
That's true. That's not very entertaining. No.
well, that guy.
Well, I mean, what's more fun than watching me go for about 20 minutes at a time?
I'll tell you what's more fun, watching the two Bryans throw spitballs at each other all weekend. That's what's about to happen.
It's almost a
Because
certainty there because they
Brian-
have placed us within the ice shot of each other.
You are, yeah. Brian.
Well, hopefully it won't be so slow that you guys are allowed to do that.
That's my hope. That's my hope. Yeah, with any luck, we will not be able to talk to each other until we go to dinner together. So
that would be a wonderful problem. That'd be great.
that would, I could live with that horror. So yeah, that'd be good. That'd be really good. So, but no, Jen Thompson, I definitely recommend her show. She does great shows. And Jen, good luck this weekend with the Indie Author Book Expo. I know it's going to be a lot of fun, and I will try to make sure you're on my list for next year for West Des Moines. So, because I had a real good time last time I was there. And Donna Carlene's, hello, everyone. Mwah, hello, Donna. How are you tonight? And Cindy Cap is here. Good morning in the Philippines. Woo! Cool.
All right.
Cindy Cap, CKOEPP.com. Check her out. She's also available on Amazon. Check out Animal Eye, her brand new book, as well. And soon coming to a mailbox near you will be Animal Eye #1, the comic book based on that novel. It is super. It is super good looking. I think everybody's going to be happy with it. And from the desk of the Small Press Publishers, morning, Cindy. Hopefully you are enjoying yourself over there. And Cindy says, sell lots of cool stuff at Imaginarium. I want you to sell lots of cool stuff. I want you to have nothing to take home with you, Cindy, when you come back from IABE. And I wish I could be there. I owe you hugs. And Carl will be here soon. We had company for supper. How did you cook your company? Was it tough chopping them up and stuff? Oh, I'm sorry. We're getting ahead of ourselves here. Anyway.
Well, she didn't necessarily say it was company fresh tonight. It could have been company frozen from a week ago.
Oh, yeah, some leftovers with some fava beans.
Yeah.
There we go.
Tupper.
Yeah, that's true.
Tupperware company.
There we go. Keeps things fresh.
Hey,
I'm
sometimes
telling ya.
leftovers are a little better than when it's freshly cooked. I mean, chili.
Oh, yeah. Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
I love Thanksgiving leftovers. Seriously. Because everything got to know each other. And Donna replies, I have my secrets. You can tell us. We won't tell anyone else. And Cindy Gap from the desk of the Small Press Publisher. I'm not there, just saying hi to everyone there. And Joe Dog McKeel says, may you sell so much this weekend, you will be sweating on if the restock will be in before your next show. For Eric, well, for me, that will be a task because I've got a show a week later. And I smelled the dollar store talcum powder all the way here on YouTube. Well, you know, they Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, they say every fox smells his own hole. So anyway, glad to have you here. And Cindy Kep, selling everything would be cool. That'd make the next 4 cons very interesting. So speaking of very interesting, we picked, I know, everybody, I'm going to give you a chance to sit down here. Okay, this is startling news. This is something I've been meaning to tell you. We all went to the comic shop this week and we picked up new books. I know. I should have given you more warning. But that's how it is. And we are here to talk about them. So who would like to go first? Oh, Mister. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mr.
And I will go downstairs and get something. I will be back right away. But I am listening.
Well, you listen.
I will
Don't
listen.
you threaten us with a good time, Brian.
No, you say that now, buddy. Anyway, here he is, Mr. Eric S. Hawkins. Eric, what do you have for us to enjoy this week?
Well, first off, the book I was going to get, they did not have. And I was going to get this especially for Joe, because I know he likes G.I. Joe. I like G.I. Joe, and the new G.I. Joe yearbook was going to be out. And I love the old G.I. Joe yearbooks from Marvel, but they didn't have it. So, too bad. I was looking forward to it, too. But, I did pick up issue 4 of Geiger, which just keeps getting better and better. This one even has a little bit of comedy in it. Issue 2 of Basilisk, which this one was done by Colin Bunn. This was the other book I read that I had to read the synopsis of to get the whole story. It's just Colin Bunn. It's not Dark Horse. So I apologize, Dark Horse. And I also picked up this. Tales Told in Technicolor. Technicore. Something.
Technicore.
Season 1. I haven't read this one yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Now, the book I did get, so I'm going to have a very odd review here because it isn't, it's a new release, but it's not a new release. But to give you a hint, I love Moon Knight. So when Marvel released this week, Werewolf by Night, number 32 from 1975, 76, somewhere. The first appearance of Moon Knight, I had to pick it up. And basically, a lot of it is just Moon Knight and the dogs barking.
Maybe that's the werewolf.
Yeah.
It's a werewolf. Yes, it's a werewolf right here.
Are they Jack Russells, these dogs?
Here
Well played, young man.
Nice.
they are Yorkie Poos.
Yorkie by night.
The stalker called Moon Knight.
Nice.
Now, basically, it is the first appearance of Moon Knight. You really don't get a lot about Moon Knight, about his backstory in it, but there was one thing. So, I got to put my glasses on to read. I always forget about that. But,
Turning 50, right?
yes. Well, I started wearing the bifocals at 40.
Well, then.
So here's something very interesting. I like this. So I entered smack into weirdo werewolves, describing Moon Knight. My stepfather looked worried behind him. And this is Moon Knight. Hello, Russell. They told me to announce myself as the Moon Knight. Pretty stupid name, but it'll do as far as you're concerned. Little Mark Spector didn't even like his own name in the beginning, apparently. But the coolest thing about this book, other than now I have the first appearance of Moon Knight and never did, is there is more story in the, I think, 18 pages of this book than I have seen in one in years. There's just more story in here. And then the things I have missed from old Marvel for years. Come on, focus in there. There we go.
Yeah.
In issue number 21, Lycanthropic Lynn, which is, of course, Lynn Wein. But then you also have the old ads. All the old ads are in here. Every single one of them. And they've got addresses, so I'm kind of curious about actually sending some stuff off to them. I mean, look, I can get 18 stickers for $250. I think
you should, Eric. I think you should mail
give
them.
it a shot.
I can get a super body.
Now you know where I got mine.
Just waiting for someone to say you already have a super body, Eric. Don't worry about it.
You won't get that
already
kind of
have a
encouragement
super
here.
body, Eric.
Slim Jims, always popular.
Oh yeah.
And what to sink your teeth into when you're hungry and you're not a werewolf.
Okay,
You
I
want
didn't
to learn
see the
kung fu?
RY there. Just what to sink your teeth into when you're hung. Oh no.
How much is the Evil Knievel towel?
And there is a lot. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of ads in here. It's probably a 28-page book with 18 pages of story, but you do have all this old stuff.
Bell.
I mean, just everything in here brought back super memories of the comics I bought as a kid. And when you're looking at the story, so there's a lot of words to read, but I mean, they all mean stuff. I mean, it's not just. I mean, there's so much story in this book, even though they're fighting through most of it. It's so cool. It's so cool to read stuff you really love.
Yeah.
And a book I never had, and I had never read.
Oh, cool.
Which is surprising, I don't like Hey, look at it. Look how many panels they put in here and so much stuff. I know Brian likes putting in a lot of panels, but yeah.
I know.
Artists don't always, but writers love to put in panels with lots of word balloons.
Only the good ones, Eric.
And I just love the old classic art from years ago. And Moon Knight's kind of he looks a little better now. He explains a couple times like his voice was muffled under the silver gauze which covered his face like ectoplasm. That was something else I didn't like. So I mean, I think the writing it's corny, but it's even better than we get today, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Then I am pretty sure this is the Thanos helicopter right there. It's got the Moon Knight ring in it.
There you go.
And went after the. So I'm excited just to have it in my collection now, even though it's obviously not the original, but it's just such a cool book to have. And even though little werewolf gets beat at the end, but
I hope they'll do the second part of this.
I hope so too. And oh man, that cape was horrible back then. Look at that.
Yeah.
It looks like he stole Storm's cape. So if the werewolves are howling again, but if you get a chance and you're at the comic shop and you want something classic, something classic that you probably might not have read unless you're probably Brian's age, because when this came out I was like 5 years old and I'm going to be 50. But great storytelling, great art. I mean, just everything flows so smoothly through here. It's a great book. And hopefully next week I can get G.I. Joe, the G.I. Joe yearbook, so I can go over it, because I think Joe might like it. But that's my review. It was just a fun book for me to read because I hadn't read it. It's just them fighting mostly. There's a little story in between. But it was cool to see them and all the old ads and just the nostalgia it brought back to me from comics when I was a kid.
Yeah. What kind of number are you going to give it?
Oh, well, obviously, this is a 10 because of Moon Knight. which I don't know if the new issue comes out next week or the week after. But they've relaunched the series.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it comes out next week or the week after. It is this month, I know for sure. It's on my pull list.
Good. Yeah,
Werewolf by Night. When I was a kid, and I'm not quite as old as Brian, but I'm older than the other two. But Werewolf by Night was my favorite horror comic when I was a little kid. It was scary. Mike Ploog art on those first few issues.
Yep.
Oh my gosh! It just and I liked Dracula. I liked the Frankenstein titles they had, but Werewolf by Night.
Mm-hmm.
Things like where Ploog had him, Jack Russell's trying to outrace the moon in a car, and he changes behind the wheel, and just 3 panels just in succession. I would draw those over and over and trying to, do the transition between human and werewolf. I just love them.
I tell you, when I was a kid, and really my dad is the reason that I got into the old Universal monster movies and the Hammer films, and I went through a phase, man. Well, a phase. I'm still in it, where I love werewolf movies, stories. I will eat them up. There's actually a couple new werewolf movies that have just come out that I can't wait to watch. But I loved Werewolf by Night because they were all reprints in back issues, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I collected so many, and it overlapped in the Tomb of Dracula as well. Same foundation was Universal Monsters. And so I remember I found it not too long ago. I had pages of Werewolf by Night fan art when I was a kid. So I may actually go out and pick that up, Eric, because
the only thing that surprised me, I thought originally it was the True Believer series they have out there where they reprint the comics for like $1 or $2.
Yeah.
It's called True.
No,
This
it's full price.
was a $3.99
yeah.
comic.
But worth every penny. It
was cool.
Like.
Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, nowadays, it's worth it now. And I'm sure 1975 when it was only it doesn't have it on there, but what would that have been, Brian? 12 cents.
No, 12 was 60s. 75 would have been probably about 20 cents.
20
20
cents.
20
cents,
cents or a quarter, yeah.
Yeah. Now, if
That's
someone would try to
crazy.
push a $4 comic on you in 1975,
It better be about the size of the
a
Chicago
phone book.
Business Directory at the time. So yeah.
But today, hey, that's cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, what's
Joe.
great is right now I've just started rereading The Tomb of Dracula.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, there are some cheesy moments for sure.
Mhm.
It is so good. It is so much fun. It actually still really holds up. And we talked about romance in comics and things like that. There's some soap opera-y, romance moments in The Tomb of Dracula that are really cool.
Yeah, and I also find that it's one thing that amazed me is that the whole run of the original Tomb of Dracula was penciled by Gene Colan.
Mhm.
And that was one of those cases where I remember buying the first issue and thinking they could not have found anyone better to
It
do
looks so
this
good.
book.
Yeah.
He's perfect. And when he's finally teamed up with Tom Palmer, who is one of my favorite inkers ever. He is my favorite inker on Neil Adams and John Buscema.
Mm.
Because he had this really, really wild style. And I shouldn't say wild, but there was just something more texture-like about it. It had a specific texture as opposed to the slick inkers like Joe Sinnott and Frank Giacoia. And then you had some like, Jack Abel, who I liked, but, it just wasn't it was just something very unique about his inking and the thing is, he also colored a number of the Tomb of Draculas.
Oh,
He's
really?
an incredible colorist. Yeah. And this happened during about the time that Marvel started giving credits to their colorists, because a lot of I did the research a lot of the time. By the time, of course, back in the day, there was a progression in how you produce a comic. And often the colorist was the absolute last person to lay their hands on the book. And sometimes they would not know who it was. So we was it colored in this case by Marie Severin or Stan Goldberg or Petra Goldberg or whoever, or Tom Palmer. We might know 3 months later when they put it in the letter column, but Marvel started crediting their colorists, which was kind of cool. And that's why you see that now. That's why everybody gets a credit these days, it seems. So
when you guys went to your comic shop this week, did you notice a new Hulk t-shirt out there?
No, my shop doesn't do t-shirts.
Yeah, we don't.
Okay.
I'm not even sure if mine has t-shirts.
Well, mine does. And
One of mine does, but I didn't go to that one this week. So
Colossus Comics and Games, Mount Vernon, Illinois, the local comic book shop here, has a shirt. You were talking about Marie Severin. I walk in, there's this Hulk shirt. And it is not in color. It is kind of a greenish over a darker background. So it's kind of the outline of the cover, but it's very plainly and it's even got the 12 cents, Eric, and number 105, I believe, of the Hulk. And I'm like, that is I thought first Marie Severin's inking job originally, because she inked the Hulk. You're talking about inkers. Marie Severin she's the first person I knew that would make the cuticle around the bottom of the Hulk's fingernail a different green than the fingernail.
Yeah.
That kind of little humanizing details that she would put in. She's one of my favorite people to ink the Hulk. She did a lot of Trimpe inking.
Yeah.
But this really caught my eye, and I thought, that's got to be her inking work, I checked it. I had to check it, and it was actually her art. So they've got a Marie Severin art Hulk shirt out there. I'm going to have to pick it up, I guess. I didn't that day, but I'm going to have to, because she's one of my favorite. You didn't see her do a lot of art unless it was humor. But her inking was such an impact, and her art was wonderful. Not Brand Eck.
Yeah.
Her stuff's all over the place.
Oh yeah.
But
also she did a run of Cull.
Yes.
The Robert E. Howard Cull, and she was penciled, but her brother John Severin, who also inked the Hulk at times and did a long run on on Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos, and also the Losers at DC. That was an incredible team up there as far as art goes. That was beautiful work. So cool. Yeah. Marie Severin's one of the more underrated people. She also drew Doctor Strange after Steve Ditko left. And she also drew Submariner after John Buscema left.
Yes.
Oh, wow. And a slew of covers. You can usually tell she was also like the cover designer rather for about 3 or 4 years at Marvel, like from late 60s, early 70s. And you can tell there is just such great layout to them. It's like we've talked about here that it made you want to buy the book.
Yeah.
So very cool. Well, thank you, Eric.
No problem.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So,
I almost forgot one thing about it. It does have Stanley's Stope box in the back too.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Oh,
there you go.
And the Host Twinkie ads.
Yes.
I love the Host Twinkie ads.
I remember the old Meatloaf ads when he was doing the Hostess. The musician Meatloaf.
Right. They had Meatloaf ads.
It's what's for dinner. No.
Yeah.
Meatloaf doing the ads for Hostess.
Yes, I'm going to take over the world. Wait a minute. Is that Meatloaf I smell?
Only one thing can appease the Joker: fresh meatloaf.
And the little thing at the end, Hostess meatloaf patties, and it'd be
no.
Yeah. Or nothing quite so sweet like ketchup covered meat. I Hostess meatloaf. So yeah.
I really like meatloaf.
I like meatloaf too.
Both.
I do too. I do too. I'm a big fan of both of them when done properly. But anyway, so on that horrifying note,
who's next?
I'll go next.
And somebody is saying to me,
"How dare you!"
I've been waiting to work that in. Anyway, so Brian, you are volunteering next, are you?
I am. I volunteer as tribute.
All right, here we go. Pushing him in front of the oncoming bus. Here is Mr. Brian Rodman.
This week, okay, so we have talked quite a bit on this show about the importance of bringing in a new generation of comic book readers, and the fact that most of the time where you go, a lot of things are geared more towards adults, which is fine. I mean, so far, everything but the nebulizer that I've done has been geared towards mature readers. But there is a really important factor that we can't forget in the comic book industry, and that's kids. Books for kids, but not just silly, goofy, throwaway stories. Really good, solid storytelling that can capture the attention of younger folks and bring them into just the passion of loving comics. And I gotta say, I picked up a slew of comics for all ages. Sorry, my cat is just screaming at me right now. I'm sorry if you can hear her, but
it heard Eric's werewolves.
Yeah, right.
Skeleton werewolves.
Oh. Now there's a cool comic idea. There you go, Eric. That's next in the Zombieful World of Oz. But I picked up a slew of books for all ages that I'll be reviewing over the next few weeks. And the first one that I really dove into, I love it. Like this is one of the best comics I've read all year. And it's called The Last Witch. From Boombox, which is Boom Studios. I think it's their all ages line. Gosh, it's so good. Before we jump into the story, it is created and written by Connor McCreary, which, I'm very, very sure this person is either Irish or Scottish, and you can tell just reading the story. Like immediately, I picked up on just a couple different word choices in the storytelling. And I from that point read everybody with an Irish accent. It's wonderful. So it's written by Connor McCreary, illustrated by V.V. Glass, colored by Natalia Nestorenko, lettered by Jim Campbell, and the cover was also by V.V. Glass as well. But do you want to give the review? This is Beasley.
Hi, Beasley.
This is Beasley, the cat that will not be quiet. You must be quiet. There you go. All right. Anyway. So the Last Witch, I will say this. Normally I read the official synopsis off to you, but if you go to boomstudios.com and read the synopsis, it spoils the first 3 issues of the book.
Wow.
Is this written by Colin Bunn?
I was thinking.
I read issue 1 and I was like, okay, I'll go and I'll read the synopsis tonight for the show. And now I know what happens in the first 3 issues, and I'm mad about it. So I read the first 2 sentences and it ruined the whole thing for me. And I was like, okay, so don't go read it, because it will spoil the crap out of this for you. Because at the end of issue 1, you don't even get to sentence 1 of the synopsis. But the story's great. Like it's that doesn't like the story in and of itself. They should have written a synopsis that led you into issue 1 instead of led you into issue 4, which made no sense to me. But anyway, we follow a young girl. It takes place in and it looks like kind of like the Middle Ages. And just kind of check out this artwork, man.
Ooh,
just gorgeous artwork. Reminds you of kind of just a classic, early 90s Disney movie. And we follow the main character, Cersei, hopefully redeeming the other Cersei that we know. And her and her friend are kind of daring each other to continue further in the woods, because there's this dark tower in the woods, apparently over the hedge, that is kind of the borderline of their village. And beyond that is this dark tower where this supposed witch lives. And what is so cool that they switched it up, because normally you don't go out at night because bad things happen at night in the woods, right? That's just kind of a trope. This is flipped. They keep saying throughout the issue that the sun is shining. So because the sun is shining on this particular day, this witch is said to be out and roaming, and that you need to be careful because the sun is out. And I thought that was a really cool twist. Like it's mentioned in the first couple pages, and I was just like, I like that. I like that you now, like, things that you should be scared of at nighttime, you're now scared during the day. And I thought that was so clever and so interesting. And so anyway, the Cersei and her friend, they're daring each other to go further off, and they both agree that they're going to go to this tower where the witch lives and steal something to prove that they were there. And whoever wins, there's a bet, and it's just, fun. And by the time when they are about to start running towards the hedge, Cersei's father calls her name, and she freezes in her tracks and realizes that she's in deep doo-doo. And he walks up to her in his very Irish accent, and says, "You're gonna come home now because you're in trouble, and we're gonna fire. You're gonna sew me socks because I've torn a hole in all of them." That's actually a punishment that he gives her. Is she has to sew his socks, which if I ever become a dad, I'm going to make my kids do that for punishment.
No, Dad, don't make us sew your socks again. I've got family services.
But
can you wash them this time first?
No, right? Yeah,
no.
I can't even get the needle through the fabric now.
Oh, it's just so bad. There's maggots. Why are there maggots on your socks? Beasley is not enjoying that voice at all. And he's just like, "Shut up." So anyway, we follow them home, and she's sad. She's grounded because there's a festival on this particular day, which the whole town goes out and celebrates, and she's not able to go to the festival now because she was going to run off into the woods, which she's definitely not supposed to do. But her brother is at home with a fever, and so she is essentially supposed to go home, stay at home, sew his socks, and watch after her brother, and make a tea that her Nan makes. And Nan is talked about quite a bit in this. We do meet her later in the issue, Nan, I think if Nan was living in a Catholic ruled Middle Eastern town, Nan would have been burned as a witch. Just saying. Probably all these people were, because they're like mixing herbs and stuff to heal each other, and I'm like, yeah, that's that's witchcraft. So but anyway, like they do as we continue in the story, we realize that Cersei has an interesting mark on her shoulder. We don't. I know what the mark is now because of the synopsis. Don't read it. But
it's the mark of Scientology.
Oh god. And so it doesn't play into the issue into issue 1 at all. Which it just kind of leaves you wondering what is significant about this mark. It clearly looks like a kind of a Celtic symbol that is of some importance. But anyway, her and her brother decide, even though he's sick, they decide to run off into the woods and to go find the tower anyway. And so she brings some medicine along for him. And I love the way they drew her little brother. He looks like a little brat, and he is. I mean, just look at that. Look at that kid.
Prince haircut.
Look
you
at
know
that.
it.
Yeah, man. And he's a trip. The best thing I can say this about this issue. So normally, as you've heard Pornsack Hawkins say many times, that if you learn more about the book in the synopsis than you do in the actual issue, that's a problem. Not in this case. I think the synopsis shares way too much. In this case, the issue 1 is all about character development, and it's all about falling in love with who these characters are, really starting to care about the relationship between Cersei and her brother. And you do meet Nan in a really epic moment. She sneaks up on them in the woods, and then it's revealed that it's just Nan. Nan's cool. Nan's smoking a cigar. So immediately
we got Donna Carlene on that.
Exactly. I thought of that.
Comic Donna.
So
that art kind of looked like the old Hobbit cartoon right there.
There are moments. It looks, which I'm a sucker for. I mean, you can see it in my art as well. I love comics that look like old animation. This does, and it looks amazing. And it feels like a Don Bluth early 90s Disney cartoon. It's got that fantastic whimsical feel, but just with some foreboding darkness that you really, in issue 1, you can't really put your finger on just yet until the very last issue, or very last panel of the issue. And so Nan finds them in the forest. Nan's cool. Nan's smoking a cigar. Nan knows they're not supposed to be in the forest, but Nan says, you know what, your kids, it is actually Cersei's birthday. That's a big thing in this too. So Nan says, it's your birthday. You can't go to the festival. I'm going to act like I didn't see you. Go on your adventure. Have some fun. Come back before dark. And so the kids run off. They find themselves at the edge of the hedge. And they start thinking, I don't know if I want to do this. I'm not sure. They're both kind of starting to get a little scared. But then they do it anyway. And they trudge for about another mile. And then they're like, okay, it's time to go back. There's nothing here. And then her little brother says, well, there's this one last hill that we'd like to explore. Let's just look and see what's over that hill. And we'll go and, explore. And lo and behold, what do they find? But an old, rickety, broken down, what looks to be the remains of a tower that a witch might have lived in. And so they explored a little bit. And it's interesting. I don't want to give away the very end of the issue. Something pivotal happens that makes I have issue 2 in my room, and I picked up issue 2 and I was like, no, I can't. I have to go do the show. And so so I can't wait to see what happens next. The last panel. Okay, I'm going to say this. You guys know how much I love horror, right? I love horror stories. I write horror stories. The last panel gave me shivers. In an all ages book, this is how you do it. It's not gory. It's not, it's not overly dramatic. It's the same type of storytelling that Bruce Timm and Paul Dini did in Batman the Animated Series. It's dual storytelling, dual level storytelling where the kids will love it, but there's stuff in there for the adults as well. And the storytelling is just phenomenal. And they don't shy away from being creepy. If I was a kid reading this, if I was like 8 years old reading this and I got to the last panel, I might have a nightmare. And it's very subtle. It's nothing over the top, but it's perfect. It's perfect for an all ages book. And when I mean it's perfect for an all ages book, I mean I give this a 10 out of 10.
Nice.
Because it is one of the best books I've read in years. It is the best all ages book I've read in probably a decade. And it's just an issue 1. So I can't recommend this enough. If whatever age you are, you're going to enjoy this. It's a lot of fun. Go to your local comic book store. If they don't have it, you can order it. My store has a whole kids all ages section. And I think I'm not sure. I think they're 3 or 4 issues in now to The Last Witch. And like I said, I have issues 1 and 2, but I'll be continuing and I'll be updating just to kind of tell everybody where it all goes.
Cool.
But I do want to give just a quick shout out to a couple of the books that I bought that I can't wait to read. Broken Souls Ballad by Black Caravan. Just looks super cool. I haven't read it yet. Also, I've heard really good things about this, and I'm excited to read it. It's Vault's Barbaric, #1.
That looked interesting.
Yeah, it looks really, really cool. I love the artwork. The artwork looks solid. The color palette is great. It's really trippy looking. So just a lot of different colors, a lot of violence in that one. Probably that's not all ages. And then of course, if you know me, you know how special this is on 2 levels. 1, I love He-Man. 2, I love Mike Mignola. And this was the variant cover for the issue 1 of Masters of the Universe Revelation prequel comic book series that leads up to the Netflix show that will be premiering later this year by Kevin Smith. And I gotta say, the artwork is super cartoony and it is super cool looking. So,
Brian, doesn't that come out on Netflix this month?
Is it this month? I'm not sure.
I think so. Yeah.
I think it might be the end of July. I think you're right. And so, yeah, I'm excited to read those. But yeah, go pick up The Last Witch. Check out the back catalog that they have. It's fantastic. 10 out of 10.
Cool. Hey, this is from Black Caravan too.
Yeah. Black Caravan is the horror section of Scout Comics. Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. So Scout Comics, they used to they had, because let's see. Oh, where'd it go? Here we go. So Phantom Starkiller started off.
I thought that room went so much further back. How'd you get your arm all the way back there?
I was like, what?
Mr. Fantastic here.
Indeed. But yeah, Phantom Starkiller started off as Scout Comics, and then by the time it was published, they had already released it as Black Caravan.
Hey, wait a minute. Are they the ones that don't put out an issue too?
Yeah. But not all of them. It's weird. Okay. I don't know. I haven't figured out the pattern with these guys. Some of them they're like, here's 4 number 1s, and they're in weird order. And then other people, they have a regular 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have no idea.
That's crazy.
So pandering Brian Morris, or you wanting to go next? Is that what you're your wifey pillow there?
Getting some comfort from my new this award I got, the StreamYard pillow.
Ooh.
Oh wow. We're getting intimate. Look out.
That's right.
Where's the mature audience disclaimer? We need that. Put that.
Okay, hold on. We've got a bunch of them here now. So it's
how dare you?
You're a little young for that, Greta. So yeah, don't be paying much attention to me. But otherwise, warning: the program you're about to view may discuss mature subject matter. It may make you question our morals and create even more questionable Google searches. This program might create a possible rift with religious beliefs. You have been advised. And of course, as usual, it's rated M for mature, which is probably the last thing I'm ever called. But anyway,
how dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you? But no, I think it lends itself to many our conversations on here. So, but anyway, and we have some comments from the previous review, and we'll probably get some for Brian's as well. Joe Dog McKeel says Yorkie by night. Now there is your working title. I'm not saying I didn't write down a plot idea. Anyway, Donna Carlene looks down the hallway, and here comes Carl. And from the desk of Small Press Publisher, okay, Eric, I won't review G.I. Joe Yearbook or Tales Told in Technic Horror, Season 1, Number 1. Yes, I do buy non-Kickstarter indie comics. Good for you. You're a good man. And shout outs to all the departed David Anthony Kraft on the Thanos copter. Yes. Epic Rap Battles of History had Thanos rap battling against Robert Oppenheimer, the creator of the nuclear bomb. And at one point, the Thanos copter comes into the frame, and so I knew Dak, so I sent him a link to that. I'm like, dude, I know you probably wouldn't appreciate it if I tagged you on this, but
the Thanos copter might have made a special appearance this week in a Disney Plus show.
I think it's trending. I think it's trending this week. Yeah.
I'm going to put a Thanos copter in Zombie World of Oz issue 4.
Ooh. There we go. We ought to, a Dorothy copter. And hello, Keisha Acuff, you beautiful you. Mwah, glad to see you here. And Carl Witzman, hey. And Ted Davies Artistry agrees. Tomb of Dracula rocks. And everyone's saying hello to each other. We like it. And sorry I had to hurry my friend out the door. Out, real person. I'm late for the online show. Good that you had your priorities straight, Carl. And Teresa Dunn, thank you for the great interview tonight. Mwah.
Things you would not hear someone say 20 years ago.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, but we've reassessed our priorities, and we're better people now. And I thought it was children yelling. A cat? That's cool. Sweet kitty. Hi, Beasley. Cute co-host, if a bit mouthy, says Cindy. Yeah.
You're right. A bit.
And her hair looked a little reddish, too. And damn. One of my secrets is out. And Cindy Camp says, optical delusions. And Brian Hawkins says, Revelation drops on the 23rd. Seeing posts of the toys showing up in stores today.
Yep. I have a couple of the action figures as well at my desk at the tech shop. I have the classic Skeletor, and then my buddy has the God Skeletor.
I saw him. I saw him this week.
Yeah,
maybe it was last week. I saw him at Target. Yeah,
yeah.
I saw Castle Grayskull at Walmart like 2 weeks ago. Ooh. The new one with came with the sorceress. I mean, it was big.
Yeah. Oh, and here's the tip: at Dollar General, I picked up from Mattel 4, and I don't know how many there are, but they're about this tall. They sometimes get those action figures on the little platforms in there, and I've got like a complete set of the DC ones. They've got Masters of the Universe, including Orko.
Nice.
My man Orko. I should probably run and get them during the next break we get here. But anyway, John Silvestri of Bloodwing Angel. Good to see him, my man. Hey, you guys. Comics rule. You got that right arm, my friend. Good to see you here, John. Hope you're having a good night. And so, Clyde, do you want to go first, or you want to...
I'll go third.
Okay, that's even better. Boy, I'm glad people around to explain this stuff to me. Brian is so brain. It's frightening.
You guys gave me Funko Pop envy, so I ended up getting the child this week. So
that's I have now. Get you,
I have officially joined the Funko Pop movement. So, all right.
It's like the Kiss Army, but better.
There you go. Okay, so my review, this really fits well. My review kind of entails elements of both of the other previous two reviews because it is a team-up book much like the Moon Knight and the Werewolf by Night. It is a title that has really excelled beyond what I expected of it at first. So I'm happy to do a follow-up. First, there was, of course, Shang-Chi Brothers and Sisters, which I trade paperback. I read the first individual issue, and then I ended up getting this and reviewed this on Comic Book Spectrum. And I thought it didn't go exactly the way I wanted it to start a new Shang-Chi series. They were kind of still, even though he's been dead for a decade, the global crime lord father figure that he had been embroiled in conflict with since his beginning was still playing a big part in his story. And I really wanted them to get away from that. And they introduced more family. And I thought, well, this is probably even better, because they did affirm that the dad was not around, but they introduced other family members. So that was at least, a good development. But I didn't really figure it would go very far because of the movie. And I don't know how closely this new idea, this new take fits in with the movie. But to my surprise, after they put out Brothers and Sisters, almost a significant part of the creative team from that went into this ongoing series with Shang-Chi. And the first issue had Spider-Man as a guest star. And the second issue is, and it's all kind of under the heading of Shang-Chi versus the Marvel Universe. So you're going to see a lot of guest stars, but this was Shang-Chi versus Captain America. A good July issue. But first of all, unlike other synopses that give away too much, they take one page and they tell you kind of what's gone on before. I really like that. And it does not give away anything. It says what's happened before and kind of sets you up for this new part of the story. But, we've seen in the last 6 months, people use entire double page splashes for a blackout. And to me, this is much better use of the space. So once you get into the story, you have some very nice, I do remember reading some disparaging comments about the artwork on Brothers and Sisters. That was Dyke Ruin and I think Philip Tan. And I'm not sure who people were not happy with. This is Dyke Ruin doing the artwork. And I gotta say, I think it has a certain manga flair to it, while still being a very Western piece of art rendition. And I do like the way that Ruin goes from just normal setting up characters and panels. There's no action here, but it is very, very cool, I think, the way that he's arranged this.
That's really good. I don't know who'd complain about that.
And we get into, and there's an energy. There's a synergy under the panels. Even when they're calm, they have a certain flair in the way they are presented. And then you get into the action sequences, which would be a very important thing, of course, for a Shang-Chi book. And here's Captain America coming on the scene, and then we get into the combat, and it's just really, really nicely rendered, I think. And then the aftermath, Ruin brings it up to kind of a peak of really slamming the panels in a haphazard style and the energy, and then we slowly go back to something a little more standard, but not all the way standard. There's still an underlying energy to it that I really, really have come to appreciate the art on these books. But Shang-Chi number 2, it is going past what expectations I had. It's a Marvel book. It's $3.99. It's written by Jean Len Yang, art by Dyke Ruin, colors by Triona Farrell. The letters are by VC's Travis Lanham. Its maturity level is teen plus. First, there was a limited series of Shang-Chi Brothers and Sisters, and then you had Yang and Ruin continuing what they set into motion in this current ongoing series, on the surface, it kind of seems familiar with furrows that they're plowing because you have big name guest stars abide. Number 1 with Spider-Man. Number 2, Captain America. Number 3 is going to be Wolverine. The basic pitch of the series was established in Brothers and Sisters, and it's also similar to things done here. A hero takes on the role of a villain to fight his criminal enemies on their own turf. It's been done with the Green Hornet long ago, and Yang's approach is more layered, more complex, given Shang-Chi's history, but it's still similar. He inherited his father's position as head of the cult-like Five-Weapon Society, and now he's using that position to change the society's evil ways. This synopsis is a part of the first page every issue, and again, that habit is one that I wish more writers would consider in their use of space in telling this kind of a tale. The question becomes then, is this familiar way of beginning a series trite? Has it been overused? Is it used to good advantage? Is it used in a way that is unique to its main character? And is it clever? Well, the answers with issue number 2 are, in order, no, yes, and absolutely. In the past, Shang-Chi has too often faced off against his international, nigh-immortal crime lord father. In the Brothers and Sisters series, Yang finally moved beyond that, establishing the other siblings in the Five-Weapon Society, which Shang-Chi learned about, and then had to either ally with or fight against to gain control of the organization. This series began straight from the end of the mini without missing a beat. I really appreciate and admire that. It's there was another book that came out this month that did the same thing. It's like, this is based on something else, and you know what? We're just going to go straight from that to this. It could be like the next day. This is what happens. In the first issue, Shang-Chi shuts down a society drug ring in New York with the help of Spider-Man. Now, in this issue, number 2, a cosmic cube is up for underworld auction, and our hero decides the society's winning bid will place the powerful item in safer hands than other options like AIM or the Hand or Hydra. To accomplish this, he makes plans with an assist from Captain America. Naturally, the other members of his family, each a leader of their own house in the society, they're bound by loyalty to their leader, but they also expect the society to remain a profitable enterprise, no matter how they make their money. Each issue, Yang has Shang-Chi balancing between his duty to his family's enterprise and furthering the cause of justice. In the second issue, we see the stress fractures surfacing between Shang-Chi and one of his most important supportive siblings over the handling of this cube. Takashi is his sibling that runs another house, and he helps navigate his brother safely through a mission which is also the biggest supervillain social event of the season, complete with complimentary body bags and stain remover provided by their hostess, Lady Iron Fan from the Iron 88 Casino. We also get great guest appearances by a gallery of delectable Marvel baddies from Madam Hydra to MODOK, who now, thanks to the Hulu series, talks in my head with the voice of Patton Oswalt. There are some light moments and some very playful banter during the auction. Also, we were talking about the support characters. Esme is also a member of her own house. She is a delight. She is funny. She's in one panel because she's a child. And it's sort of like Damian Wayne wanting to go, and they're like, no, it's 21 only to the casino. So she gets dismissed. And it reminds me of some of the characters that Brian was talking about in his witch book. She is one of the funniest, well-written characters. She goes places Damian wouldn't even dare in her dialogue. She's just great. And does not have a lot of, she doesn't suffer fools easily, and that includes most of her brothers, including Shang-Chi sometimes. So she wasn't in it, and I was a little disappointed at first, but then we see why, because the relationship between the brother that is helping navigate Shang-Chi through this is very important. And really, I don't want it to sound like this is a comedy. It reminds me of the film True Lies, because it's not a comedy, although there are funny parts to it. There's plenty of action, and lingering concerns are raised throughout the narrative. Takashi is the brother that helps him navigate through the social event. And there are some real problems that arise between the two of them, even though Takashi is very loyal to Shang-Chi. It raises some questions like, when you keep a trusted sibling and advisor in the dark so that your plan can't be held against him, does it also display a lack of trust? Is simply depriving your competitor organizations, keeping the cosmic cube out of the hand, is that the best use? Is that as lucrative for your followers as using it yourself? Well, there's a lot of action. We don't get the guest star battles also that the protagonist scene has so common in team-ups. We don't see the Moon Knight versus werewolf kind of thing. We don't see Shang-Chi and Captain America fight. Actually, this is what I really like about the title. Yes, it has these big guest stars, but like in the previous Spider-Man appearance, they speak about their past adventures and the training. Have you been practicing the way of the spider that I showed you? And catching up, showing their connections. They're excellent chances to learn more about Shang-Chi, and also they play to Yang's strengths in showing very relatable camaraderie of friends catching up. In the case of Captain America, we have a little less of that, but we're shown the respect that both heroes have for one another and the mutual trust their avenging has founded. There's a twisty little wrap in the adventure, one that promises more unraveling for the society as Shang-Chi's new direction for the operation gains more opponents, perhaps both inside and from without. This issue moved the title even higher on my monthly reading list, mainly because it is just a lot of fun. Yang creates with each issue, as my friend John B. Pica said last week, and I'm paraphrasing, a 4-color kung fu film. It has solid personal interactions, characterization balanced against the combat, and humor mixed well into both. Shang-Chi is alongside DC's Nightwing, a book I know will make me laugh out loud at least once an issue, and usually more than that. Dyke Ruin's art really launches at you in the action sequences, even in the calmer moments. The way that he panels the story and the point of view and the perspectives used keeps it interesting and bounding with a nervous, anxious anticipation of the blows yet landed. It is foreground intensive. Now that could be a problem for some people. This may be where some of the complaints came from. The background detailing is minimal, most panels. But what's on display in the near views captures my attention almost completely on the first read-through. On my second read-through, that Spartan quality of the backgrounds was more noticeable, but also made appealing in the coloration and contrast through Triona Farrell's work. The story takes place in a meeting of the underworld at Macau, but Farrell takes that mentioned dazzling, if nefarious, social event approach in her colors. She makes the shadows scarce and delivers a palette of hues worthy of interruption by a Star-Spangled Sentinel of Liberty like we see later on. Travis Lanham on letters does the top flight job I've come to expect. Not only does he flow the dialogue, a practical smooth current across panels, but his sound effects come in a smorgasbord of fonts and spellings, of which Eric would be very proud. And for this issue of shield slinging and gunfire and energy weapons and shuriken impacts, it's perfection. The writers and artists on this title are literally making a long-held dream come true for me. They are growing Shang-Chi beyond that parent-centric origin and beyond a purely team dynamic into his own mature and powerful hero role. And yet they still acknowledge and even expand on both those elements, his father's legacy and the association with other superheroes, as they forge new dimensions to his character. It's not a chess game of spies and global underworld forces pitted against one another like it could be, but it is a creatively clever and often humorous approach on an action-adventure comic with a hero who's been waiting a long, long time for such good handling and storytelling. This week, I'm giving Shang-Chi #2 a score of 8.5 out of 10.
Wow.
Very nice.
Cool.
Very nice.
Nice.
I like Gene Yuen Lang's stuff.
Mhm.
I have not read a single thing of his that I did not. Well, I take it back. The only thing I wasn't really thrilled with was his Superman. But I just don't think that back in the New 52 days.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I really appreciated the direction he was being taken with either.
Nope.
The
That
powerless
Superman
version.
sucked.
Yeah, and I just wonder how much of that was editorial caveat because I
Right.
read like Superman battles the Klan, which is up for an Eisner Award this year, and that was a genius bit of work.
It was.
I read the
Absolutely.
trade paperback of the first Shang-Chi, and I was incredibly impressed with that. How they're moving him beyond his Fu Manchu roots.
Right.
So.
Right. I also picked up, because of Brian's review, Green Arrow.
Yes.
You got the right cover too.
I did. I didn't have a choice, but I'm glad, because I really like this cover. But the Wildcat appearance is chef's kiss. It's just a beautiful little more of no, not the best title of a book for this week goes to Ahoy Comics. My comic shop, I don't think has been handling any Ahoy, so I got it in support of that. But I love the name. When I got home and went, oh, that's very clever.
Oh, cool.
Oh, genius.
Yes, so I'm hoping that the read will be as good as the title. It was very clever.
That is clever. Very good. Well, thank you, Clyde. Thank you very much. And Amanda Ellifritz says, "What's up, CBS crew? When are we getting that T-shirt?" It's Ryan Permison is what it is. Check him out at noon for "And I Quote" on the Hang of the Web Show Network. Thanks for signing up to be on my show, Clyde and Brian Rodman.
Yep.
Coolness. Very cool. And thank you for being here, Brian, or Ryan, rather. I appreciate that. And during Clyde's review, and I was listening to every word because you blew
it off, didn't you? You blew off the whole thing. That's fine. Okay.
No, Clyde. I appreciate your review of G.I. Joe Yearbook. That was no, I had to show you this. These are from about 2020. They're part of the micro collection, Masters of the Universe, Man at Arms, and there's one other that I don't have. So if somebody wants to be nice to me, pick it up at Dollar Tree and bring it to me at the Imaginarium this week, and I'll make it worth your while. Also, Merman.
Oh.
And you can see it barely there. Each one is on a stand with the Masters of the Universe logo on it.
Oh, cool.
Okay, very cool. And then the second coolest character. Now, the one I'm missing is Skeletor. Okay, so there is the second coolest character in the Masters of the Universe and of course,
there he is.
There he is. Yep.
Hi everyone. Watch Comic Book Spectrum every Thursday at 7. Anyway. Yes, I used to cosplay that guy. Anyway, while I've got the whole screen, why don't I give my reviews?
Yes.
Why not?
Did you say that's at Dollar General or Dollar Tree?
Dollar Tree, excuse me. Thank you for the correction. It's funny, but they're both owned by the same company, actually.
Okay.
And because one of our local Dollar Generals became a Dollar Tree 2 years ago, or shortly before the pandemic. And I was just curious how that worked out. And it turns out they are both owned by the same corporation.
Okay.
So anyway, that's more stuff you guys can't use. But anyway, during my trip to the comic shop this week, I picked up the fifth issue of Legion of Justice. No, wait a minute. No, it's the Crime Syndicate. Crime Syndicate's what it is. And it has a great twist ending, has the origin of their version of Johnny Quick. I may review it next week. There's a lot to unpack. I didn't get to read it as thoroughly as I wanted to. I got the fourth issue of The Trials of Ultraman, and only Arthur Adams will take on a cover where you can see each and every person. There's no stock pose. There are different facial expressions when you can see them. The story is great. Little cookies to show me that the writer Kyle Higgins and Matt Groom had done the research into the Ultraman legend, because we see the person who will become Ultraman Jack later, which was this follow-up series to the original Ultraman. But anyway, that deserves a little bit more attention. But what I really want to talk about, 2 issues of this have come out so far. And this kind of goes along with Brian's thing about comics suitable for kids.
Oh, right.
Because I'm reading this and thinking, I could leave this out on the kitchen table, and if a young person wanted to read this book, I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't be waiting for family services to be knocking on my door. No,
we would be more worried about the young child wandering into your house to your kitchen table to read the book.
Yeah.
That's valid. That's very valid. I understand that. But anyway,
When I put up the gingerbread facade again, I'm feeling new.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Heat up the
Hansel,
oven.
Gretel, come here, closer to the fire. That sort of thing. So yeah. But no, what we're going to talk about tonight is Batman: The Adventures Continue, Season 2. I think it was Brian earlier mentioned, was mentioned earlier that this series started in the early 90s that took their vibe from the Max Fleischer Supermans and basically boiled down all the best elements of every era of Batman and put it into a wonderful, wonderful comic book. This is the second issue. The first issue should still be on sale. Ask your local comic vendor. I mentioned in an earlier episode, we gotta have like subtitles, or those editorial notes like was mentioned earlier. If you had watched episode 15 of Comic Book Spectrum, that's where I'm not a big fan of Riley Rossmo. I'm sorry. A little too cartoony for me, even on this. But the thing is, it didn't have the credits. No credits in here, except for on here. Now, this book makes up for it. The only thing is, Zatanna doesn't appear in this issue. She does appear in this one, though. She does appear in this one. And this is a 2-part story. So you get both parts in the story here. But this is written by Alan Burnett and Paul Dini, who were the producers and the chief writers on the original animated series. It is also penciled and inked by Ty Templeton. Get well, Ty. Who wrote and or drew like the first 4 or 5 years of the comics based on the animated series. And
what else did he draw?
Ty Templeton also drew one of the variant covers of Spencer's Spook #1 by Brian K. Morris and Eric S. Hawkins. And he's a great guy. Please keep him in your thoughts right now. And Monica Kubina was the colorist, and Josh Reed was the letterer. There was a Max Dunbar and Luis Guerrero variant cover. Andrew Marino was the editor, and it says Chris Anka did this cover, but it's very much like Templeton. It's beautifully done. The basic premise of the story is that Deadman, Boston Brand, has returned to Gotham. And he's investigating, he's checking out these crimes, and suddenly there's this character in an owl mask who can see Boston Brand and can actually touch him, and it hurts. And so he makes his way over to Batman, and of course he's aware that Batman and Bruce Wayne are the same person. And this leads Batman to discover the Court of Owls from the New 52. There are some great guest appearances by Zatanna on this one, and this one also has Nightwing and Tim Drake. Okay. It's a fast-paced story. The artwork is lovely. Even in the quieter moments, has Mayor Hill in it. Trying to find a double page spread here because there are the usual DC house ads. But look at that clean storytelling.
Gosh, I love that artwork.
Oh my God. Templeton
So
is
pretty.
So good. You could tell what's going on. The artwork is minimal, and even the lettering has a hand-drawn quality to it that if there was any place else, I'd probably find it annoying, but not in this. It really, really looks good. And here's from the first issue. See the emotions, and it still fits into the style of the animated cartoons. And this is also a comic that if you have a young potential comic reader in the house, start them out on this.
Yep.
Okay, and read with them because you can explain more about the Court of Owls and why Zatanna says words backwards. It is just a marvelously written and drawn comic book that, like I said, there's two issues out so far. The second issue just came out this week. But this is an entire story right here. It is shown up originally online as a e-comic, but it's incredibly well written. It is fast paced. It is amazing. I shouldn't be surprised. Look who did it. And the artwork is exquisite. The coloring is wonderful. Very, very 4-color type art, coloring on this. Sorry, Eric, not a whole lot of sound effects, but the rest of it more than makes up for it. My review of these two books, go get them today. Go pound on camp out in front of your comic shop. and if he or she doesn't have it, please ask that they order this from their distributor. What's the new one?
Random House?
Yeah, Random House. There's also the place out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. They're still doing it. But anyway, ask them to order the Batman, The Adventures Continue Season 2. Season 1, I'm thinking, will probably be out in trade paperback fairly soon.
Yes, I think it's by the end of the summer, Brian. It's supposed to be
okay. Thank you, Brian.
Cool.
That makes a lot of sense. Because it used to be like, okay, I bought the last issue of the miniseries this Wednesday, and next Wednesday the trade's coming out.
right.
And back when I was in the comic book retail end of it, I actually had a couple of trades from Marvel came out the same week as the last issue. So I'm glad we're over that, guys. Anyway, my review of Batman, the Adventures Continue Season 2 is a solid 10 out of 10. We've had some good 10 out of 10s tonight.
Ooh,
This is, if you go into your comic shop and you want something you can read and share with other people, this is probably the best $8 plus tax you can spend in your state. It is rated ages 13 plus. It is definitely worth the money. It is a super, super good book. So
I would like to add that the 2 10 out of 10s were all ages books tonight. So
good point.
There's good stuff out there, guys. Get some stuff for the youngsters.
Mine had a werewolf.
Yeah, okay. He beats us. Anyway, what have you got there, Clyde?
This is sort of in the same vein of what you're talking about. If you like Justice League Unlimited, the animated series, this picks up for 13 plus in its age group. It picks up the storyline right after the end of that series.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Very, very well done. In fact, I thought about
it and I missed it.
But here you've got Granny Goodness versus Justice League.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
Well, there's remember Thanos was taken out, so you got you have a vacuum in the leadership for Apocalypse and Earth, and you also have a birthday party that they're all going to. But there are about 4 threads that were left not entirely resolved in that series, and this picks up every one of them.
Wow.
And very fun read. And again, it's 13 plus, so it's really aimed at younger readers. So
yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. I might have missed that at my shop. So I'm gonna write myself a note. Justice League Unlimited. Fortunately, my comic, both of my comic guys are Facebook friends too. So, yeah, so that's very helpful. So anyway, thank you, Clyde. But yeah, good stuff tonight. Good stuff. Not a single one got launched into the air. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
So anyway, we've got a couple more comments. You kids get off my table, says Carl. And Rick Bradley, glad to have you here. Dead Man, show us on this doll where the owl man touched you. And Brian Hawkins, when did issue 1 come out, Brian? This would have been a solid month ago. So with any luck, it is still available at your local comic shop. If not, ask them to order it.
And if you can't find it, it's available on Comixology as well for the quick read. So
there you go. And share. or buy a copy. This is what you can do if you want to encourage other people to read comics: is buy an extra copy and share it with somebody you think would enjoy it.
Yeah. Sharing is not always caring.
That's true.
Buy it for somebody.
Here are all the bad comics I don't want.
Yeah. You're not getting up until you read each and every one of them, you SOB. So
and,
anyway,
and you know what? Sew my socks.
Oh yeah. Push your needle through the crust that's laying upon them an inch thick. So, yeah.
Oh no, that's gonna be my new insult to people. So my socks.
So my socks, right?
How dare you?
Oh, I need my nebulizer. Where is it? Oh, here we go.
Okay,
All
who
right,
had 8:30 p.m., guys? Which one of us had it?
All right, there we go. It's not working. It's not working.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, there you go, Eric.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be a whole weekend of this crap for me and Brian. The Imaginarium. Enter the Imaginarium.
Film at 11.
That's right, yes. Oh, we've got another comment here. Eric Hawkins, I know him. Find some shirt and other merch there.
There's a link, actually. I guess links don't carry over here to StreamYards, but it is on the tuber.
The tubes.
Okay.
On the tubes, as the kids say.
That's right, which is why I know nothing about it.
White tube.
Yeah.
Kind of like an ovary tube.
Eric, what you can do is put that link in the private chat, and then I can copy it into the main page.
You mean that link right there?
The one that just popped up into my gaze.
I think it's been there for like.
Oh, I know that website. What a lovely website! I am actually aroused at the very thought of sharing it with you all. And there we go. Eric, talk us through this one.
Oh, you're gonna bring it up? Actually, I mean, yeah. Bring up the link if you want to share that screen. But there's a bunch of I just created a bunch of Comic Book Spectrum logo stuff on there. Mm-hmm. So if someone wants to go buy it. You'll have to get through a bunch of Zombieful World of Oz stuff first, but it's on there.
Okay, hold on. I'm getting there. Oh, that's lovely. That is so lovely. Yes, we are. Oh, if I can just get that off that thing where I'm where you put the cursor on the picture.
You can just get off.
What things? I said,
I don't want to know about your cursor thing. I don't know. No.
Well, it says here share, so I'm overdoing it. Anyway, let's see, share screen. I know that tip. I should get rid of that. And Chrome tab and Comic Book Spectrum Stone. But
really, we should create a store under Brian's name and put all this stuff out there. Or Brian, put all this stuff on your store.
Yeah.
We could talk about that later, but anyway, let's do add to stream.
Wow. Ooh. Perfect for the alcoholic in your family. Carl.
I feel attacked.
I'm listening,
I'm right here, Eric.
Right. But yeah,
that's
and
cool.
Also,
go click on apparel. No, did you go up there and click on apparel at the top?
Okay, apparel.
All right, now go click women's t-shirts. There's probably more of those.
Right.
I can't fit into those, Eric.
Scroll down. Keep scrolling. There's a lot of my stuff on here. There we go.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Eric, do you have sizes for Brian? Yes. Brian that's speaking?
Yes.
Yeah?
Of course.
How high do they go up?
That's a good question. I think they go up pretty high.
Yeah. Pillows.
Ooh.
Oh, I didn't think about putting on a pillow.
Yeah.
Or Brian can hold two pillows in his hand.
Easy, Tiger. Easy.
Hey, Tiger, you hit the jackpot. Anyway, so let's go back.
But if you go out there's coffee cups, there's mugs, there's shirts, hoodies. And especially, I made some tank tops. Oh, go look at the tank tops.
Oh, there we go. Oh, no.
There we go.
I can show off my muscles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one right there. That second to the left of that one in the middle there. Yeah, that'll show off my movies. I like that one.
Ooh.
Let's do
There
that.
we go. And look, I can make the logo disappear.
Hey,
Ooh.
isn't it
It's
fun?
magic. What is it?
Magic.
Ogle repeated, just like Zatanna.
Yeah.
And then there's this with the contrast. You can't tell what it is. Anyway, let's see. Oh, and stickers.
I didn't put them on any stickers, but you can find my stickers out there. Code of Silence will be a future book coming out soon, and
Ooh.
And of course, make someone you love sew these together.
Yes. Yes.
And so please check out the studios.creator-spring.com. There's a mouthful.
I feel
for
like you should
Shut up,
just read the
Christian.
whole thing. There you
or
go.
just click the link.
What blasphemy is this that we're link clicking?
Eric, that's the easy way out, sir. We can't do that.
We're like Tina Turner. We don't do nothing nice and easy.
And easy. We do it nice and rough.
And if you like it rough, be sure to go to stonedoorstudio.com. Anyway, Carl Winsman said, a drinking glass? How appropriate. Yeah.
There you go.
And how. And don't forget, Carl Winsman will be the host tomorrow morning of Nevermind the Furthermore, because I will be in transit. And so Carl has graciously consented to be the host tomorrow morning. That will be viewed only on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network page on Facebook. So plan your morning accordingly. You won't have to put up with me tomorrow. So
I will, but you won't.
well, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Rodman's
we can't help you there, Rodman.
I did this to myself. So, there we go.
You poor thing. Anyway, that's what he's saying right now about Sunday night. He's like, make him stop. So anyway, because
Here's a bullet, Brian. Just go ahead and bite down on that. Okay, here's another one. Don't bite so hard this time.
this news flash: 3 people found dead at the Imaginarium. Shell casings were found, and the culprit was arrested due to dental. Anyway. So, anyway, does anyone have anything to talk about next?
I have nothing.
If you're not watching Loki, you should be. It's pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
There
what
was
I'm
a
hearing.
really cool spoiler, a really cool Easter egg in the episode from today. Or from
Eric?
next week. Yeah.
Eric, what did you think of episode 3?
Was that the slow one?
Oh,
None of them have been slow to me. I don't know.
really? To me, that was
the one
molasses.
that was on the planet, right? Where the asteroids were coming down in the beginning.
That was the Talking Head episode.
Yeah, it was just
I love
slow.
that group.
Yeah, but you usually get one of those every season. There's going to be one episode that's kind of not as good as the others, but not bad. But I thought it was too slow, and I fell asleep.
I will say this.
Yes,
I didn't
yes, that's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
I didn't think any of the episodes were slow necessarily, because even the one where they were, just kind of sitting there talking most of the episode, like that moves the story along and it makes you care about them. So I was very invested. It didn't really seem slow.
But
to
wait a
me.
minute. You've watched Stranger Things, I am sure.
Oh yes, of course.
Did you like the Chicago episode?
I loved the Chicago episode. Yeah,
Nobody
I did.
liked it.
I loved it. I loved it. I
Nobody
loved
liked
every
it.
episode. I did.
But
I loved it. You know why I loved it? It reminded me of the X-Men.
Yeah.
That's why I loved it, because I was like, "This is where they're going," and they didn't go that way. So I was
More
confused
like
afterwards,
Rob
but-
Liefeld X-Force.
No, I
Good club.
will say this about Loki, though. The only critique that I have is the amount of exposition that is just shoved down your throat verbally the whole time. It's like this week's episode, I think the plot was described verbally in dialogue about 4 times.
Yeah.
one time while they're actually doing it, I'm like, I'm watching you. You don't have to tell me what you're doing. I'm seeing it.
You are
There's only one
showing
episode
me
left.
and telling me also at the same
Right.
time.
I was like, you don't have to do that. Other than that, I love the show. It's a great show. It's just, that's the only problem I have with it.
Oh, and like the other Brian Hawkins mentioned, episode 3 didn't have the star of the show, Owen Wilson, either.
Oh,
It really did. I mean, that really took some of the wind out of the sails of even the dialogue part. I'm not
really?
against that dialogue.
I really liked it.
It was okay, but it seemed so much slower. And Wilson playing off each other is so great.
It is.
Like episode 3, it started out, these meteors coming down. They're having to run for shelter from the meteors, and later they're just kind of walking through the meteors, not worrying about a dang thing.
Well, I think that they moved because there were certain spots where they were more heavy than others. That's what I gathered, at least. Maybe.
And they went by all these freaking giant lights that had to have some power in them.
Mm-hmm.
I did notice that. I was like, how is that not helpful? Okay, whatever. But no, I like
chemistry. The chemistry between the characters in episode 3 was not as good, or what is not as prevalent as the other episodes. I didn't think, because there's a lot of important stuff being said, but it didn't seem like they were both carrying their load. Now, in the episode since, it has been, and of course you've got Wilson coming in to help with that a bit, but I really missed him in episode 3. I think.
I think you're onto something there, Clyde. I think in episode 3, which goes back to the exposition stuff, is half of the dialogue wasn't necessarily character development as much as it was what are we doing, where are we at, and let's get all the audience members that are stupid caught up because they can't pay attention. Like, I feel like that's the problem with the show in and of itself. But other than that, I thought, like, I was starting I remember thinking halfway through season 3, I was like, is this some weird form of self-love that they're doing? Like, what's happening here? But then after that, I was like, I'm kind of okay with it. So, like, that was more.
Judge.
But what happens when you have a child with yourself? What's going to happen there? I mean, that's definitely got to be a timeline branch.
Well, but that's the thing. Like at the same time, a lot of people are up in arms at the fact that Loki's come out as bisexual. Have you read Norse mythology?
He had sex with a horse.
Loki bangs everybody.
Horse and gave it to his dad.
Yes. Loki's jacked up, man. This is nothing. This is nothing compared to, like, these are my problems.
Well, that's the problem.
Right?
They said bisexual. He's not bisexual. He's trisexual.
He's everything.
He'll do anything once.
I love how they say it.
You're now M for mature.
Yeah. I love how they say it is he's
stand by, Greta.
He's mischievous. That's like, because that's his sexuality or whatever it is. I thought, like, mischief. That's what it is. I was like, that's funny.
Sexual. Yeah, there we go. That's a new classification.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. But it's like, guys, Loki's a god. Like, Loki, chill out. First of all, he's fiction.
Carly,
a
stepfather is still a father.
That's true.
Yeah.
And just because he is
Loki's
adopted,
He's adopted.
That's true. He is adopted.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
right. What was
Luffy?
No, shoot, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. He may be your daddy, whatever.
He may have been your father, but he wasn't your daddy.
Well, your daddy.
Yeah.
And
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Fell asleep watching Loki.
A very
episode
cool
1 to
thing
3.
about the Loki series you guys might not know, and I just learned this week. The costume designer, when creating Lady Loki's costume, made it easily accessible because she was breastfeeding a newborn.
Yes, I thought that was really cool.
I thought it was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they posted
now
a
everybody's
picture.
gonna get on Loki because now he's breastfeeding too. Oh God! We're just going to hell here. I'm telling you.
Now, apart from episode 3, 4 and 5 they hit the street,
yeah,
burning rubber, and they haven't stopped. And so many so many Easter eggs.
Mhm.
I got to go back and watch them again because I caught some of them, and then I've watched a few of the breakdowns to go, oh,
Yeah.
I've got to go see that. But
And I got to tell you, so far, my favorite character has been classic Loki. He was
Yes.
epic. This week's
He
episode,
was.
he was so cool, man. I was like,
Yes.
you rock, dude.
I love the way he's holding his cape all in front of him all the time.
Just straight from the
Yes.
classic Marvel comics.
It was.
It was great, man.
Now, I have read a little bit of the teen Loki, and I didn't feel like there was a whole lot. Nothing against the actor. Didn't get a whole lot to do, but the alligator Loki got a bit more presence and screen time than he did. So it's kind of a disservice to him, especially if they're going to use him later on for other things. But
Yeah.
I'd like to have seen him get a little more stretch. Maybe he's young, so maybe that'll come with time. But
Yeah.
the character in the comics was really beloved by several people that I know, so they felt kind of let down.
I
But
was
you
looking,
got a whole bunch of Lokis, so you only
Yeah.
give so much screen time to each one. But
and like that, all the Lokis, in this isn't a spoiler. When the fight is happening in this week's episode, that there is no resolution to that. So all of them could potentially come back.
yeah, absolutely.
I was more disappointed that President Loki wasn't in it more. I
Yeah.
thought he was going to become a larger role. So
Mhm.
Very cool. Very cool.
I don't know how they're going to wrap it in one more episode of.
It's a lot to wrap.
It's a
into,
lot.
so-
Yeah.
It is a
Of course,
lot.
now, they're
But
talking
I have
about a
heard that
second
possibly
season.
this one is going to have a season 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
Or stay
Well, that would
tuned
be
for
cool.
the 7-hour season finale.
But I tell you what, I'm awful.
Directed by Zack Snyder.
No!
Half an hour's in
I
slow
can't
motion.
see a damn thing.
The new trailer for What If came out too.
Yeah.
It starts
saw
in
that.
August. That looks
Yeah.
great.
So
That is
here's
fantastic.
my theory, right, about the what if. So if you saw the trailer, you saw that Killmonger is essentially he's a good guy
Mhm.
and he plays a major role. What I think is going to happen is I think that's going to be your Black Panther too. I think what I think they're going to do is
I don't know.
maybe not, but my theory is because of the direction the Loki show is going, I think Loki is going to lead into the What If show. The What If show is leading into Doctor Strange. And I think some of the alternate timelines from the What If is they're going to stick in the main MCU. And I think if unless Kevin Feige, I trust that dude more than I would myself with this, but like I think that would be an easy thing to do is say, hey, we've made Killmonger a good guy, bring him back, and he's now Black Panther. And
I
there you
wish
go.
they just wouldn't do another Black Panther movie.
How do you
I
not
just
do
take-
another Black Panther movie? Like
I think you just gotta go on. Don't go somewhere else. I don't know.
I think definitely don't recast.
No,
But
no,
I think
you
make
can't
make
recast.
make Black. Don't make it T'Challa, but make it
unless it's Don Cheadle, then you can bring him in.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, just replace everyone that you want to replace with Don Cheadle, and no one will notice.
It's worked once.
Exactly.
We pulled over on people. I'm sure that'd work. No, you guys make me think that I need to rent Disney Plus for 1 month and
Just
just
binge
not
it.
do any writing, not do anything, and just watch like Loki.
However,
and,
Well, I would wait till
WandaVision.
September now when What If is probably done.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
do that too.
Yeah,
Wait till the end of the year, and
trailer
then you'll
looked
have.
great.
But then I think Hawkeye's going to start soon too. 'Cause I think
Hawkeye's supposed to be in the fall. Yeah.
because they wrapped that up already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just get it once a month annually.
I found a spoiler out from Black Widow,
Uh-oh.
but it relates to Hawkeye. So I'm wondering if maybe some the blonde Black Widow might be in that show, but I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The chick from Midsummer.
Was that what she's in? I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen
I
her in
think they're
anything.
calling her White Widow. I think
White Widow.
that's I've seen
Is
that.
it really?
That's kind of racist, Brian.
I know,
Or
and
just
I
call her
hate
Cracker
those people
Widow.
for it.
You can't just call people white, Brian. Jeez.
Okay, translucent widow.
Ooh, there we
Okay.
go.
I'll be
That's
seeing
fun.
I'll be seeing on I think we'll say Black Widow on Saturday.
oh, cool.
Oh, that's right. It is coming out this weekend.
It is coming out this weekend.
Some
That's right.
ScarJo for my birthday.
There you go, buddy.
there you go.
Boom, chicka, wow, wow. And everyone is still agog over the website that Eric has shown us. Cindy Cap says, cool new toy. And hey there, friends and foes, John B. Pike. Check out his Back of the Cereal Box Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Except for, you can watch this week, but John won't be on it. He'll be at the Imaginarium too.
Yes.
And they have socks. And Carl gets out and Ryan Permisson is ready to buy us shirts, says Amanda.
Yes.
And how did you get a StreamYard pillow?
He slept with the owner.
I'll tell you when I see it. Imaginarium, and the link. What's a link? Asked Ace Bonnie. See, I told you. Nobody cares about links. And whoa, says Carl Winsman. He's anticipating his hosting of tomorrow morning's Never Mind the Furthermore. And the premium shirt goes up to 3X, says Brian Hawkins. And Carl, I'll see you tomorrow. You can't threaten him with a good time, Ted Davies. And there was a duck pillow next to one of the victims. Not now. And Cindy Kemp is getting ready for the West Des Moines Indie Author Book Expo. Says y'all have fun and sell many, many things. You too, my darling. Mwah. CKOEPB.com. Check out her newsletter and check out her books because she's amazing. And I said so. And her name is Florence Pugh, says Amanda L. Fritz. And she was in Little Women and Midsummer.
Yeah, she was fantastic.
And the Historical Fencing Guild. Welcome to you, Nick Tucker. Check him out tomorrow night at 8 p.m. every Friday night. He is awesome. If you get Disney Plus, you can see the great and not so great animations. Okay. And let's see. Here we go. And I'm not sure. I should be reading some of these. Anyway, Donna Carlene says, let's roll the dice. Actually, Loki was an exchange prisoner to keep two powers friendly, as were Freya and Frey. Thank you, Donna. Mm-hmm. Donna would know. She knows her stuff. Yep. Mm-hmm. And Ace Bonnie says, to hell in a handbasket. I'll be holding the basket. I'll be looping the path. Anyway, shove, Christian. And Ted Davies Artistry says, Loki is a self-loving slutty mess. Aren't we all? Anyway, the Rising Tide Broadcasting Network says it's time for Shuri to become Black Panther. T'Challa is a jerk. Actually, I saw something really, I think it's funny in a nasty sort of way. Varian Grant took a picture of Indie Volt Radio, took a picture of himself with the 10-inch Funko Pop of
Thank you. I'm glad
Black
you said
Panther,
Funko Pop.
Zombie Black Panther.
They waited a long time to put that out. It was supposed to come out almost at the same time he died, and they held off on it. Yeah.
Man.
Which is very respectful, I think.
Yeah.
But speaking of T'Challa being a jerk, it seems like I think him and Namor kind of have the same personality in the game.
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would love to write a Prince Namor series. He's a total a-hole.
I love that character so much. The Invaders are so much fun.
First anti-hero in comics, or one of the major anti-heroes in comics.
Yeah, seriously so. And Amanda says the next Black Panther should be Shuri. We have 2 votes for Shuri, and that's what usually gets him out of trouble, Ted, says Donna Carly.
He survives. He's a survivor. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, that's it. That's the ticket.
Yeah.
So anyway, it looks like we are at the end of the show here. Did you have
Before
something?
we go, since we talked about Loki and the What If series coming, I watched all of MODOK. Has anybody else seen MODOK?
I have not.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it pretty good?
Well, I watched all of MODOK.
For Ted's guarded review, or for Clyde's guarded review.
I think Clyde's recommendation is don't watch it.
Yeah.
What I infer with that is I did not stop, hoping that maybe it would get better, because it is
your
very
dreams come true.
It is a lot like Robot Chicken. Okay.
That's weird.
Now, Robot Chicken is supposed to hit and misses.
Right. If Robot Chicken was less funny in its early days.
If Robot Chicken completely sucked, MODOK would be exactly like it.
No. It did not completely suck. There were some nice moments. There were some funny moments, but it's kind of like, and I don't mean this quality-wise, but, when they said they were making a Catwoman movie, and we got Halle Berry as Catwoman, we were like, this Catwoman is not based on a comic book. It's just the name, right?
Mhm.
Well, MODOK, I think, is kind of the same way because I expected it to be MODOK with all kinds of crazy, interactions with the Marvel. It's more of a family, his family, which I don't think he has in the comics.
No.
I wished it was as funny as his appearance in my Shang-Chi book tonight, #2, because he is part of this social event. And here comes, the new head of the 5 houses comes in, Shang-Chi, and he's like, I'm glad to see that you finally come to your senses and joined us to take your father's place. You've joined the ranks of the elite, including MODOK. And he's like, oh, well, yes. No, marinate in the wisdom that is MODOK. That works so much better than most of what they did in the show. And I was just disappointed. I hope they get to do some more. Maybe it would be better because I think with better writing, it could have been quite good. But I was let down. I just kind of wondered if you guys had seen it and what you thought. But
no, not yet. And now by your riveting review, I don't think I will.
Yeah, I might have skipped that one.
I didn't really care about it anyway. And so, like what you just said, it kind of validated what I already thought it was going to be from the trailers. So
I had high hopes. I really wanted to.
It looked like they tried to take something that had really a lot of potential to be something epic and just made it into a stupid comedy. That's kind of what I gathered from the trailer. So.
The Patton Oswalt, I really like him, and he can make
too.
things work really well.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he didn't write it and just couldn't bring up the quality from his delivery of it, or I'm not sure. I have to go back and look and see who is on the blame roll credits to see.
Yeah,
but
walk of shame.
but it was. I was kind of hoping for a Mystery Science Theater kind of vibe since he was part of that, or even some of Robot Chicken is brilliant. I laughed hard at the early Robot Chicken stuff. So
especially the Star Wars stuff.
Oh yes. Yes.
And I love
Empire Strikes Back, the dinner scene with Darth Vader.
Oh gosh.
That was funny.
But they just never got that. They didn't go that far. They made it like into this comedy family show, which has nothing to do with the character in the comics, as far as I know. I'm not a MODOK expert, but I was like, why couldn't we have Iron Man and Wonder Man making a couple of appearances, but we don't have nefarious plans to do evil against everybody. It's kind of early MODOK versus his early MODOK, who was all set to get out of college and get his evil degree and take over the world, and current MODOK, who is a disappointment.
MODOK with children.
MODOK with children. Yeah.
And that's the thing. If it was like it's some weird obscure corner of the comic book universe, apparently it wasn't that popular because none of us know about it. So why would you make a show out of that version of the character?
Yeah, that's crazy. Well,
it was created by Patton Oswalt.
That's sad.
And Jordan Bloom.
Well, you can't win them all, guys.
Well, I in my heart of hearts, I want to say there's Jordan Bloom going, oh, wait a minute, that was funny.
Right. Yeah.
That's a good line.
Yeah, maybe Jordan Bloom did the same thing Jeff Johns did to Wonder Woman 84.
Well, here's funny. The executive producers, I'll list a couple of the names: Joe Quesada, Jeff Loeb, and Patton Oswalt.
Well, Jeff Loeb isn't always the best either.
No.
So he can knock some really good ones out of the park, but he can also flop some flops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is very true. That is very true. Well, Patton, I love you and everything else but this. I would probably watch it just for the sheer horror of it. But I may have to go to. Is that on Disney Plus also?
It's on Hulu.
Oh, it's on Hulu. Okay, good. Because Disney Plus. If I'm going to see like WandaVision or any of those at least for the time being, I'm going to have to go there to do it.
Yeah.
Rather than wait for my beloved Blu-rays to come up. So.
Blu-rays on what?
Like WandaVision, and
they're not doing them.
That's my point. That's my point.
Oh, okay.
That's just it's going to be.
How dare you try to trick the mouse?
I know. You would know.
I told him about you. I told him.
I knew it. We have a Viper in our bed.
Hey, Brian, I'm just saying there is a way to get it on Blu-ray. But
talk.
yeah, there you go.
We'll talk. We'll talk.
All right,
It's
there
got
we go.
ways just to
Yeah.
give it to you. You don't even need a disc.
That too, but you know.
Yeah, your corporate overlords could be listening, Eric. The mouse has big ears, you know.
I know.
So anyway, the Historical Fencing Guild says, hot take, a self-absorbed ruler from an isolated nation runs roughshod over international laws with his super secret science, valuing his sovereignty, but denying everything else. Am I talking about Black Panther or Doctor Doom? Or what is it? Black Adam?
Black Adam.
Or Prince Namor, or sometimes Prince Byron of Geoforce occasionally. So,
But Black Adam actually has the well-being of the Kondak people.
That's true.
Heart, I think,
That's
because
true.
he's got that anti-hero thing going. It depends on who's writing him, but you know, he's another one that when they were doing the JSA title and they let him in for a while as a probationary member before he took over Kondak.
Right.
I really like that idea, you know, where he's like, "You need firepower, I can help."
Yeah.
And Jay Garrick is like, "Look, if we want a Marvel, we'll call Captain Marvel."
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, seriously, I can." He just completely just he has
Then Brie Larson showed up and they didn't know what to do.
That's right.
Who's this? What?
Why
does
are
it-
you
Why doesn't
changed?
she have emotion? I don't understand.
he has such hubris.
Yeah.
And when he's written well, it's like he's a guy trying to be Mighty Atom again, but he's been through so much, he's not naive and he's not going to take a chance on people victimizing these people again. Now, to that end, he will do some questionable things, but I always get the feeling that the well-being of his people is, I don't know that that's always the case with some of the other people that were mentioned here, like Dr. Doom. I don't know whether, maybe, depending on who's writing it, maybe that's true. But
It's true. That's true.
Yeah, Black Panther's definitely not as malicious
no.
as
Yeah.
Doctor Doom.
No.
There's definitely integrity issues that are different.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah. You know, and Prince Namor, you know, it's just that every other war he wants to kill all the
I was
surface
gonna say,
people.
Namor's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
indifferent to life in general.
Yeah. And
Arrogant.
even
That's a
Aquaman every
douche.
now and then. Now
I
that
know,
I think of
yeah.
it, you know, I
Well,
hate you surface people.
Especially in like the last 20 years, Aquaman and Namor have kind of been like the same person almost sometimes.
Mhm.
It's weird.
Yeah, and I always thought of like Aquaman as the kinder, gentler version of Prince Namor. Oh, I don't feel like killing the surface world today.
Yeah. I'll hang out with the dolphins today. It'll be a good
right.
one.
Or date a dolphin.
Oh,
Freaking
that's
Aquaman.
right.
Well played, well
Look out.
played.
Hey, move aside, Loki. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Make room for the bestiality.
You want to
folks.
see
All right.
creepy? I'll show you creepy.
Just grab a dorsal fin and hang on tight.
Woo, baby. All right.
And Donna
Getting weird.
Carlene, that is her religion,
Yeah,
the Norse gods, and that's her jam. Kind of have to
And
know them. Well,
I
I'm
have to
Presbyterian. You need to be surprised what we say about our God.
I have to say though, really quick,
Yeah.
Carly, that is one of the reasons that I really respect her because
I do
I'm
too.
a big
Love her.
advocate. Like, you know, as a Christian, I'm always telling everybody, know why you believe what you believe. She
Exactly.
does.
She
She
does.
really
She
does.
really
And
does.
I would love one day, Carly, we have to talk one day. I think it'd be a lot of fun just to
That's right.
chat about religion and different beliefs and things. I think that'd be cool.
Well, remember, Carly, you and Carl are only 4 hours away from the Imaginarium. Enter theimaginarium.com starting tomorrow, Friday at noon.
Eh?
I can't be much more than 4 hours away.
You're not. You're like 3.5.
Yeah.
We used to drive down there for work all the time. So,
Yeah.
of course, now I don't. Now, wish I did.
I know, right?
Yeah, there we go. And same for Clyde. We could have a live show down there. You never
We
know.
could. That'd be fun.
That'd be hilarious. That'd be great. And, you know, because it dawned on me earlier that as of this weekend, I will be the only one of us that has met all the other three in person. And that would be great if we could change that.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
But anyway, And anyway, Carl would do it, but he has
Next
to
week
host
there
the
won't be a
show
show after Brian and Brian meet.
in a green room too, so Carl won't be in any shape to drive to Louisville. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And Dr. Doom is fanatical about protecting his people, says the Historical Fencing Guild.
Yep.
That is true. And you doubt the word of doom?
Yes.
And Nick Cochran says, I see Dr. Doom as lawful evil. Yes.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's true. And
Yeah.
my alignment is chaotic naughty. But anyway, and let's see what else we got. And Donna Carlene says, yeah, but Carl is taking your show over, and then we have our show tomorrow night, and I have a family reunion Saturday. I can write you a note and get out of that, Carly. Just let me know. And on my way, says Ted Davies, artistry, holding you to it. And you know what? Laugh it up. I'm still holding you to it. Anyway, so... And I believe we're caught up with the comments now.
All right. Man, 2-hour show tonight, guys.
Yeah.
I know.
Right.
And it was fascinating. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All the good shows are at least 2 hours. Anyway.
including the season wrap on Loki. Right?
That's true.
Yeah.
True.
That would be
Yeah,
pretty
awesome.
cool.
I'd be all for
That
that.
would be, yeah.
This is the show that does it all. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you to everyone who has been watching tonight. Thank you for your comments. If you're watching us on the rerun, feel free to leave a comment and we'll try to get back to you and reply to you. And if you're watching us live or on the reruns, we love you all. Thank you so much. And we are here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. We appreciate your presence and hope you'll make us a habit. And please share, like, and subscribe. That helps us so much with the evil, deadly algorithms. And great show. Thank you, Donna. Mwah, you were a big part of making it so. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, hon. And have a good time at your reunion this Saturday. And we're there Sunday, by the way. Just letting you know. Just saying. You get to meet, you'll have two Brians at once.
Two Brians.
Double your pleasure, double your fun.
That's
And Carl Wisma says, fun stuff. Definitely. Thank you, Carl. And thank you for participating. Thank you to everyone who participated in the chat tonight. And we hope to see you here next week. We will be back with new reviews, new folderol, new stuff. And but definitely we are definitely coming back next week.
How dare you?
That can't get old. Anyway, and everybody's going, yeah, Brian, it will. Anyway, so anyway, let's tell everybody how they can keep up with all of us. Let's start with Clyde Hall, and we'll go clockwise. Clyde, how can everyone keep up with your amazing exploits, sir?
Well, I'm Clyde Hall, and I am a lifelong comic book reviewer and fan and elder statesman of geekery, including but not limited to vintage toys and cheesy movies and monster kid paraphernalia, horror cinema, and noir, or as in Southern Illinois we call it, no ear. So, if you enjoy new pulp, I have stories in Pulp Reality #1, award-winning from Stormgate Press, where I am a contributing writer, and in Pulp Reality #2. These will be on sale, I think they will probably be on sale at Imaginarium, but they will also be on sale at Junk and Disorderly Artisan Market this weekend, 3000 West DeYoung Street, Marion, Illinois, July 9th, 10th, and 11th. If you look for Ginny's Creative Crafts and more, she'll have a booth there. I am the more. I will have my books for sale there. I may not be there the whole time like she will be, but she will be happy to tell you all about the books because we have rehearsed this. she can tell you about that, and there may even be some ads up there for some show on YouTube called Comic Book Spectrum. So hope to see you this weekend at either Imaginarium or at Junk and Disorderly in Marion, Illinois.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Clyde. You are a joy as always. And someone else who is a joy is the one, the only, Mr. Pornsack himself, Mr. Eric S. Hawkins. Eric, how can people keep up with you?
You know, I always forget Clyde's only an hour away from me. I worked out in Mount Vernon for about a month, 2 months. I was going out there training for it. If you've,
I'm sorry.
I was going out there for training for a speed lube, a quick oil change place for.
Sir.
Oh,
Sir.
When you I can tell you some
That
stories
kind of
about speed
show.
lube and the people that come in and the jokes.
Wow.
But you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Indiegogo. Still, I still have the page up for the Zombie World of Oz issue 3 sketch cover. And here's the variant cover.
that's
homage
good.
of X-Men 213. And try to not show the actual last page too much, but if you look on the back cover,
yay!
Hey, that's us.
yeah, I didn't want to put our pictures in my scare people.
Good point. So is that all you got for us, Sarah?
These will be shipping out, and probably the ash cans show up next week along with the prints. I have sketch cards to complete and sketch covers I have to complete before those go out. I will start shipping here in a week, maybe 2, which is still ahead of schedule because I said August.
Yes, you did, sir.
And I've already put out 2 Oz books, and one creator launched one the same time I launched issue 2. Still hasn't got his out.
And of course, we're not naming names.
No, I won't.
Me either. So here he is, Mr. Suave and Suave and Debonair, Mr. Brian Rodman.
No, you got it right.
Debonair.
Yeah. I'm Brian Rodman. I am the writer-illustrator of comics like the horror fantasy comic book series Memoirs of an Angel, as well as the post-apocalyptic action comedy The Nebulizer. You can find out all you want and don't want to know about me at brianrodman.com. From there, you can see all my social media goodness and any Kickstarters we got going on, as well as the Patreon page. So, yeah, that's me. And this has been a fantastic night. Looking forward to this weekend at Imaginarium.
Definitely. So am I. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, everyone who's on the panel and who has been listening to us and watching us here on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook. And to close out the show, I am Brian K. Morris, and I'm in Pulp Reality 2. Plus, I have my own line of books at on Amazon through risingtide.pub. You can go there and sign up for my free monthly newsletter as I move things around here. And also, we have various shows on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network, who powers this one. We have 7 days a week of entertainment and education. And like I said, tomorrow morning, programming notes. Tomorrow morning, Carl Witzman will be the guest host of Nevermind the Furthermore. I'm looking forward to it, but I'll be driving, so I won't be able to see it till later. But you can watch it live, and please give him your comments and your love. That will be only on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network page on Facebook. Please give that a like if you would. And also tomorrow night we'll be drinking with the Ted Davies is on vacay this week, so we're not going to get drunk with Ted. But we will be getting Michaela Jade's Tidbits and Scribbles. Also check out her more weekday mornings when she gives you a little kick in the slats to get you motivated that day. And then at 8 p.m. will be the Historical Fencing Guild with Nicholas Anthony Tockert, where he teaches you how to kill each other safely with bladed weapons. And then on Saturday nights at 11 p.m. will be Stupid O'Clock with Joe Dog McKeel, the Skunk Rocker, and a whole bunch of other cool people. And Dan Hollifield follows with Last Man Standing. It's a fun show. Great night of conversation, and it's all fun. And then on Sunday night is the lovely Heather Ellen with Comics, Chaos, and Sass on at 10 p.m. Eastern. Please check it out, and you can promote yourself on there. She encourages you to do so. I do as well. And also thank you to our Patreon subscribers. Patreon is the monthly subscription service where you can directly support your favorite creators. And if you want to see what I will give you in exchange for your ongoing support, loyalty, and love, go to www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. And let's see, also don't forget my newest book, Snow Ambition, is available now on Amazon for only 99 cents. It's a one-shot quick read crime thriller. You will be enthralled by it. I guarantee it's good stuff. And also want to thank our usual sponsor, but we love this guy so much. The guy who did this cover, the one and only Jeffrey Hayes for Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. You want great art for your book or comic book cover? You want great art to go along that'll help promote it? Contact Jeffrey Hayes at plasmafiregraphics.com. Also check out their Facebook page, Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it matters to your readers, so take them up on it. Also, another programming, this weekend, Brian Rodman and I will be at the Imaginarium. That is going to be at the Holiday Inn, Louisville East. 1325 South Hirschbourne Parkway in Louisville, Kentucky. We're also going to be doing some panels, he and I, as well as we'll be in the dealer's room selling our stuff. I will have copies of Pulp Reality and other delights with me. So please check us out, and please come see us. That will start Friday, tomorrow at noon, and go till about 5 or 6 o'clock, Brian. I can't remember. But anyway, it's check out our times and the schedule for programming at entertheimaginarium.com. It will be worth your while. We'll be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Look forward to seeing you there. And so will my pillow. Anyway, hope you all have a great week. Hope you enjoyed the comics you bought this week. Hope you enjoyed our reviews. And we will see you here next week on Comic Book Spectrum. And as always, folks, stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, and never apologize for being awesome. Have a great week. We'll see you next Thursday on Comic Book Spectrum, issue 21.
Thank you for watching Comic Book Spectrum, a Rising Tide Broadcast Network production. Please join us next week for another look at comics, past, present, and future. If you enjoyed this, please give the show a like and be sure to subscribe and share it with your friends. To receive our free monthly newsletter, go to www.risingtide.pub and be sure to give the Rising Tide Broadcast Network page on Facebook a like in order to receive news about upcoming shows, including Clever Title Pending, Stupid O'Clock, Clever as Hail, Comics Chaos and Sass, Tidbits and Scribbles, the Historical Fencing Guild, and never mind the Furthermore. See you next week.